A woman is not affirmed until it's something that until she's connected to another person, until she's married, until she gives birth, until, you know what I mean? Like she has to be affirmed by a man somehow or by a partner somehow.
It's like this expectation that women are their relationships with other people. And men are men are valued for the complete opposite. Men are themselves.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Well, no, I'm saying that you are on the exact same page with what I'm getting at. Which, like, so especially after having a daughter, it was like I still need to make that very clear to her that like you as Nia, you as an individual, you are great. You are already enough. You don't need a partner. You don't need to get married. You don't need to be in a relationship. You don't need to give birth, get pregnant, adopt, what have you, in order to be an entire human now, in order to be worth it.
You just got to clean your goddamn room once in a while.
Anyways.
Welcome to Playing House, the podcast about keeping your relationship sexy and secure. I am Riz God Kolter.
And I'm Dominique, and we are a real couple having real conversations and inviting you in to be our third.
Today's episode, Codependent versus Interdependent Relationships. The podcast is going international. We are finding a healthy balance. And is there a good kind of clingy in relationships? But first, can we get some noise for the outfits? Every single week you are killing it.
This is
no. It's beautiful.
Wow.
Can we see the leggings?
No.
Stand up, give us a little spin.
No.
Show us the body. Oof. Oof. Yes.
Okay.
Hitting your head, you
Ran
okay?
into the lights.
Listen, as long as the body's okay, we're good to go. Yeah, every single week you're killing it.
Thank you. I'm going to be honest. This is like the most casual thing I've worn yet.
Maybe, but each week I'm like...
Gets noise. I appreciate it.
I put on a t-shirt. Last week I just had a cardigan with no shirt.
You looked good.
I know I look good, but I just really appreciate it. I know everybody appreciates it. You look fucking, you look hot as shit.
Thank you.
All right, what's going on this week with you?
Okay, well, come behind the curtain with us. We're shooting this a little bit early because we're going to be in Atlanta.
Oh, baby.
So we had to get this out of the way for the week that we're going to be away so that we're not recording while we're having some fun. But yeah, so I'm excited to travel and excited to see this podcast go international.
International, baby.
I'm playing with this because my headphones keep going in and out, in and out. There we are. Okay, hello.
Listen, I'm jealous of the headphones. Yeah, you're hot as fuck.
Thank you, my love.
Trust me, thank you. Thank the Lord. Thank the genetic. I gotta send your mom and your dad a Christmas card each.
If you hear him, tell him I say, hey,
I
I'm
won't
still
be doing
alive.
That. I'm not going to send your dad a Christmas
cool.
card. I don't think that guy knows my name, but...
I don't think he does either.
What's going on this week?
Yeah, just that. I'm excited to travel. First flight of the year. Hopefully first of many.
Are you going to get snacks on the plane? Yeah. You
gotta get like a cheese board or something.
Cheese board.
Should we upgrade to business to get some like champagne and like a warm towel? I don't know what they do up there. Do they experience turbulence up there? You
show up looking like that, I think they'll upgrade
in
us.
Leggings.
First class. You'll be flying the plane. They're like, listen, ma'am, here's the controls.
Yes. They push
get us there safely.
If you wear leggings. That's exactly how that works.
And the sweater. You get a bra under that? Probably, right?
Yes, you would know if I did not.
Okay, well, anyway.
How are you doing?
Really fucking well.
Okay.
Really fucking well. We got a clean scan, bitch. What up? Yes. Yes. Wow. Clean fucking scan. What is up?
My headphones, I think you've blown them out. But it's worth it. It's worth it.
Speaking of which, I fucking...
Okay, all right.
Last night...
Excuse me?
Blew out something else. How's your back, by the way?
Still recovering.
Yeah?
Has to do some sort of active recovery today.
Yeah. Do some active recovery tonight after this.
Talk about the scan, Kolter.
No fucking cancer, bitch. What up?
Period.
What up? 2.5 years of remission.
Done. Gone.
My
cancer.
best scan yet.
Yep.
My best scan yet. Because usually there's like a little something. And it turns out to be like inflammation or whatever. And it There wasn't a fucking, there was one thing that, so they were like clear, like there's no evidence of disease, clear complete metabolic response to cancer treatment. But like an hour before we left for the hospital, I hadn't taken my testosterone shot. Like I'm a few days overdue because I'm fucking brutal at that. But I've been on it for about, I guess, exactly a year now. Holy shit. January 6th. It's a big anniversary for a lot of things. A lot of patriots out there. For the record, I am completely kidding. But Dominique gave me a shot in my ass, and that showed up on the fucking scan.
But didn't I say, should you be doing this right before your scan? By the way, you have like lotion. I think you put on lotion earlier, and it's like caught in your beard.
Beard. That's generous.
Keep rubbing. But I fully said, rub down. There you go. Here, use my phone as a mirror.
Okay.
I fully said you should not be doing this right before a scan. It might pick up on it. You said, oh, it's testosterone is natural. It's not going to matter.
Also, there's no lymph nodes in your ass. And that's where my cancer was.
Well, it's sauce. Okay, they also check to see if it spreads, no?
Yeah, it's not going to spread. There's nothing in your ass that it would. No, they were just like...
People don't have ass cancer?
Maybe. There's prostate cancer. And I guess colorectal cancer. I don't think there's like the meat of your ass cheek
anal
cancer. Okay.
First thing that popped up.
Your butt cheek is not your anus, so.
It was very close.
Yours is so large it has its own gravitational pull.
My anus is so large?
No, your butt cheeks.
You need to make that clear what you're referring to.
Yeah, there's just, the ass got no grip.
Oh my God.
No, I'm sure the ass has grip. I'm sure one day I will have empirical evidence, but we'll see. So the clean fucking cancer scan, massive. Never have to fucking do that shit again, unless of course.
No, don't even. I know you like to make these dark jokes.
I'm not making a dark joke.
I don't like them.
I'm saying the truth in a wacky way.
Dark
but as long as, wouldn't technically all of your humor be dark? That's a thinker. I said thinker. I
will leave.
Never have to do the scan again, which is fucking great. This was the last one. They were like, as long as it's clean, which it was just a routine scan, you're good to go. And also the more of these scans you get, it's just not good for you. But we're good to go, bro. No fucking evidence of cancer. What is up? Not my white blood cell count. Hey. So that was that. Really fucking great news.
I'm still caught up on the thinker thing.
And it came in quick. The results came in quick. Right? Typically it takes a few days, maybe a week. They were just like, bam.
Yeah.
So.
Very excited for you.
I was a little worried about that. Usually they have two radiologists. They have like the one that does it and then the one that like checks the work.
Yeah.
It's the fucking same guy for both. He's like, no, I did a good job. Pat on the back.
Well, it's probably like if there's something suspicious, you need a couple of people.
I guess.
Opinion.
I guess you could just be any dummy. You're like, there's nothing on here.
Yeah.
This is a Domino's menu. What?
Oh my God.
So that's great. Let's get into Family Matters. This is the part of the show. This is where we address the theme of the episode: codependent versus interdependent relationships. Talk to me about that. Growing up, because I think a lot of the relationships you're in romantically as an adult, I think they're largely influenced by what you see as a kid.
I'd actually like to know your thoughts on this because you chose the theme this week, and I'm usually the one that chooses the themes. So I'm interested in why you chose codependent versus interdependent as a theme this week.
Because I think they're very close. I think the Venn diagram of codependent and interdependent is almost a circle. Can
you walk through kind of what that means?
So codependent can be, I thought I had glasses on. I was going to move my glasses. Okay. Glasses on all the time. Used to. I got contacts in for the pod, trying to show some respect. Codependent could be like, I can't function without you.
Right.
Interdependent is, we both function better because of each other.
Right.
So codependent is kind of like zero sum. Interdependent is, we're both great and we're even better with each other.
I'm a movement by myself.
Hey.
But I'm a force when we're together.
She is.
Maybe I'm good all by myself.
But
baby, you make me. You know the song?
No. What's the song?
That was a good guess.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Thank you for walking us through that. Yeah. So I would see a codependent relationship as I can't even make a decision. I need Kolter to be there. He knows better than me to make any decision when it comes to me. Like if I decide that this is the right move for me, it's probably Kolter who should make the final.
We'd be making some better decisions. That's all I'm saying.
And then interdependent is more like, there are things in my life that I know that I got, that I trust that I can make the right decision. I trust my gut on. And then there are other things where, like, as my partner, I'm going to bring that to you first.
Listen, you can do all of the things on your own.
No, of course.
You're fucking...
But I choose not to.
You're so talented. Anything you set your mind to...
Period.
You fucking nail. And it's an honor when you come to me and ask me my opinion on something... Earlier today, maybe it was yesterday, what is time? We were actually both sending some emails. And I was approaching a couple of brands and you were... I
think I was doing my performance review.
I didn't want to say because maybe you weren't allowed to talk about that on the air. I don't know.
I'm allowed to do a performance. Doesn't everybody do a performance review?
Okay, but like you were running a couple of the
oh no, let's
portions behind me, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Behind me?
Through you?
Through me.
Yes.
And it was just cool to like, you didn't even need my assistance, but it was just cool that you trusted me enough to like work through something.
Yeah, absolutely.
With me. That was awesome.
Absolutely. I often think of our move to Dubai. And when I had the opportunity, first of all, I had a job offer in Dubai early on in my career, like a year or two out of school.
It was like almost 10 years ago. Holy shit, it was 10 years ago.
10 years ago, bro.
Motherfucker.
No, I think it was 9.
Okay.
Yeah, we moved there in 2015. So almost there. Yeah, so I got the opportunity very early on in my career and you did not want to go.
No, I was super, and we've healed individually and collectively, but like I was a piece of shit about that.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
but we're past that.
Agree with me.
No, you very much were.
Are you beyond that? Because it doesn't sound like maybe you are.
What I'm getting at is that I had to then come to the decision for myself and say, if Kolter ultimately does not want to do this, it's his right to not want to go. We were not married. We were dating for a few years, and you were starting your career as well, and you had moved across the country to start yours.
And you came with me.
And I came with you.
No questions asked.
And if you were not down to come with me across the world to also impact my career, that's your right. That's your choice, right? So in that moment, I had to decide, am I going to make the decision to independently move if he's not willing to do this? Yes, it's scary. It's a new country. It's a new culture. It's a new
scary
job.
With two of us.
Absolutely.
Alone?
Extra scary, like by myself. I think I've been on a couple of plane rides before that, right? So it was like, wow, this is a huge step. And I very much did not want my bluff to be called, but I said, if you don't go, I'm still going. This is too much of a big opportunity to miss out on. I'm going to think of like Ross and Rachel from Friends when Rachel, you didn't.
This will be
Friends.
lost on me, but every other human being on earth has seen Friends, so go ahead.
Absolutely. So Rachel, in the end, she has a job opportunity in Paris, and she decides not to go because she wants to stay with Ross. And to this day, I think that's so stupid. Like, just the stupidest ending. You want to be a fashion designer and you didn't take a job in Paris. Are you a dumbass? Anyway, so I didn't want to be Rachel. I was like, I'm taking this. So this is a huge opportunity. I'm going. I don't know if that's necessarily a codependent versus interdependent example, but I think it is an example of seeing my parents' relationship, or the lack thereof, rather, because they often could not agree on anything on earth. And their relationship ended probably when I was like around 6 years old. So most of my memories of them is just fighting and like not...
And getting McDonald's at school sometimes.
Sure. And them not being able to come to an agreement on anything. And so seeing the position that my mom was put in and seeing how she had to like salvage a lot for our sake it put me in a position to never want to have to
rely on a man
ever. And so it was more important. Like I was fearful more so of ever being dependent in any way, whether codependent or interdependent on a partner, to the point where I just had to be independent. Because like even opening up our joint bank account when we moved in together, I was like, I'm going to keep my money in my account.
What money?
And you'll keep, right?
I'll keep my overdraft in my account and you can keep yours in yours.
And then when it was time to pay the rent monthly, we had a joint account where we put that money and that went straight to rent. Because like, God forbid you mess up, I need to leave you. We have a joint account. Now,
how am I messing up? What am I doing? Other chicks, I guess.
Like, okay, yeah. That's all you need to do. Like, bye, right? So, yeah, the idea of being codependent, so it was very scary. Even interdependent, very, very, very scary to me. So I've had to learn over the years, and you've called me out on it plenty of times, that telling me you don't have to be alone. I'm your partner. We can work on this together. Like, trust me. And I
said that the other day.
Yeah.
Our anniversary dinner, I said that afterwards.
What did you say?
Just like you need to trust me and I need to trust you. And so part of that is being vulnerable.
Yes.
And trusting that.
Yes.
Like it's that trust test, the trust fall metaphor.
Yeah.
I will always catch you.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you always need to be caught. But when you do, I'm there.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I believe that. I believe that. But it definitely took. What the hell? It definitely took a lot of therapy. We reference that quite often on the show. A lot of time to eventually get there. You don't see the position, your mom being put in a position to fend for herself and take care of 4 kids by herself, and like think that you'll ever easily trust a partner after seeing what she was put through.
Yeah.
As an example, as my example, right? So coming into this relationship with you, especially after having a daughter, I was like, okay, I got to make sure my daughter knows that, like, she too does not need a partner to be successful. She doesn't need a partner in order to achieve her dreams.
Yeah.
But at the same time, having a partner is also
nice,
a beautiful thing. Like, yeah, we often celebrate women for having a baby, for getting engaged, for having a wedding. Like, those are the big milestones in a woman's life. But like, we don't share the same celebrations when they get a promotion, when they start a business, when they have
open a private prison, right?
When they have personal
moments of self-actualization.
Thank you. These milestones are not, a woman is not affirmed until it's something that until she's connected to another person, until she's married, until she gives birth, until, you know what I mean? Like, she has to be affirmed by a man somehow, or by a partner somehow.
It's like this expectation that women are their relationships with other people. And men are men are valued for the complete opposite. Men are themselves.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Well, no, I'm saying that you are on the exact same page with what I'm getting at. Which, like, so especially after having a daughter, it was like I still need to make that very clear to her that, like, you as Nia, you as an individual, you are great. You are already enough. You don't need a partner. You don't need to get married. You don't need to be in a relationship. You don't need to give birth, get pregnant, adopt, what have you, in order to be an entire human now, in order to be worth it.
You just got to clean your goddamn room once in a while.
Anyway, so coming into this relationship, I guess I hung on to that idea so much that I almost couldn't open myself up to the idea that, like, I can also be a movement together. I can also go further in a partnered relationship where there's equity and there's trust and there's vulnerability.
And I think historically, up until, this is still the case in a lot of relationships. I don't think it's the majority anymore. But historically, the fella goes out and works and then, like, does nothing around the fucking house. Mm-hmm. And the expectation then is that the gal is, like, well, raising the kids.
Right.
Right? And, like, the stereotypical, like, pink and blue jobs.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the husband's not cooking, the husband's not cleaning, the husband shows up at the end of the day and it's like, well, I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
Whereas
dinner on the table.
The wife has been home all day.
Yeah.
Cooking and cleaning.
Yeah.
And then you're fucking stupid oh my God. Men, fuck men. Don't, but like, ugh. These fucking stupid guys come home and then it's like, all right, well, I'm going to beat the shit out of you because like you burnt my fucking food, or like I'm going to take my rage out on you. And then the wife is like, the shift doesn't end for the day. They're not both done at 5 o'clock. She has to then continue cooking and cleaning and taking care of everything.
Yeah.
And hearing about your fucking, whatever you went through that day.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're not doing the same for her.
I think, yes, there's definitely, of course, like cases of abuse and cases of like inequity and all that horrific shit. But there's also like people who choose to have those sort of traditional family setups where like the man.
Trad wives. That was our first or second episode. I think we talked about that.
I don't think it has to go that deep, right? It's also a matter of like men make more.
Yeah.
Okay. Regardless of.
Well, it's because we work so much harder, right?
Kick your ass. I will kick your ass.
What's the gender pay gap for women, or for black women specifically?
For black women, I think we're at 60 something cents.
So like you would think, well, black women are only working 60% as hard.
It might be
black women are working
that.
probably like, I would say minimum twice as hard as white dudes. We fucking skate.
I'm trying to Google this.
Gender pay gap? Yeah, probably like 60 or 70 cents, maybe less.
67 cents, yeah.
Damn. You got a raise.
White men and the wage gap actually widens to 65 cents on the dollar for black women who hold doctorate degrees
Jesus
compared to
Christ.
white men with the same education.
Like it's never okay. But also you think they're only charging black women 65%, 65 cents on the dollar for their fucking education?
Like
no.
Inflation only raises.
Yeah.
Another 65.
Like
what? Get out of here. So yeah, so and because of that case, and then plus you think of like how expensive childcare is, a lot of families ultimately decide, okay, my job is the breadwinner here. I can't lose this. The man keeps going, and then the woman keeps the job at home because it is a full-time job, like you mentioned. It is like raising a child alone, like all the house stuff aside, all the family stuff aside.
Oh.
Come on, but all that stuff isn't aside, right? So it's raising a human safely and hoping that they grow up to be a productive member of society. Okay.
And hopefully you're in like a safe place mentally to attempt to raise a kid.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you and I have always like, I shouldn't say always, but like when Nia was born, we did okay financially. COVID aside, COVID kind of fucked us.
Yeah.
But if COVID never happened, then we would have had a better support system.
Right.
Like, and we're also like two people who are in a loving, trusting, long-term relationship, who both have post-secondary education, who both have careers, who both live in a good city. I think there's a ton of there's a ton of stigma around like teen moms, for instance.
Yeah.
And like there's that show. Your sister is obsessed with that show, Teen Mom.
To this day, who knew it still came on?
And I remember being younger and thinking like teen moms are scum.
Oh my God.
You know how much fucking, like I just said, how difficult it is for two people in optimal circumstances. You take away almost all of that. Like you're not in a relationship with somebody necessarily. You're a teenager. You're probably still in high school. Hopefully you're going to finish your high school. Maybe you don't necessarily have, your brain's not even done forming at that point. Yeah. And maybe your home life's not great and you've got to raise a kid. Oh my God.
But also like, think of teenagers. Okay. If a girl loses her virginity, are we shaming her as much as we're shaming young boys for doing the same? And like, think of it from the boy's perspective. If a girl doesn't put out, for example, and you've been dating her for a while, get rid of her. She's just a tease. Now, if she does put out and it takes two people to have sex and to make a child, right? And if she gets pregnant now, if she has an abortion, she's scum, right? She's terrible. Oh my God, how dare you make this decision for your own body and for your own livelihood, for example. If she does that, she's scum. If she keeps the baby and raises it as a teen parent, she's scum still. Yeah. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Real quick on the abortion, like not to get too into the weeds here. It seems to me Like the same people that want to take away your right to health care, that want to take your right to choose whether or not you want to bring a fucking human into the world, are the same people that consistently vote and campaign against a better social safety net. Better benefits. The same people that are saying you're not allowed to get an abortion past fucking 2 minutes or whatever are the same people saying we also don't want to pay for like lunches for kids, and we don't want to increase welfare payments, and we don't want to increase child benefits.
Because it's never been about being pro-life. It's been being about taking away your choices.
Financially responsible.
That's all it is about.
That's what it's about. You know, we gotta be financially responsible. That's what it's about, right? No, it's about the fucking choice and lack thereof, and control. It's super shitty. How do we get into this?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But
my parents' relationship growing up, stark contrast to yours.
Okay.
Stark contrast. My parents ran a business together. My parents were together probably 90% of the time. Like when it's too much. When my sister and I were born, she's 3.5 years younger than me. They would like switch shifts as much as possible. They owned and operated a restaurant. So my dad would work nights, I guess, and get us off to school in the morning. And my mom would work days, and she would have us when we got home. For a few years, we had a babysitter after school so they could like work together a little bit longer. And they were always on the same fucking page. You said your parents never agreed on anything. My parents agree too much. It's a little much. Do you know what I mean? And like, no. Fair point. Like they just, especially when parenting, always fucking held the line. And that's something you and I try to do as well.
Yeah.
If one of us says yes or no, that's the answer.
It. Yeah.
You can't like, our daughter can't fucking weasel it out of
your no, but he already said it.
Yeah. Got in there first, set the precedent.
But also I'll take you aside and talk to you about it and be like, hey, like this is the case. I think next time this should be the case, but never in front of her. Yeah. We gotta be a strong
Kolter. She doesn't get heroin on Wednesdays. We've talked about this before. We've talked about this. But my parents, it was a symbiotic relationship.
Oh wow.
My parents have been married for almost 40 years. Shout out Pierre and Lisa. Blessings. One for each of them. And they have always just really worked well together. They owned that restaurant for about 20 years. And I've just always seen like a loving relationship. And yeah, there were disagreements, but there was never any yelling growing up. If they had a disagreement, you could sometimes hear them like having a hushed
argument,
whispering like Pierre.
Yeah.
You know, downstairs or whatever. Or sometimes when we would be driving somewhere, it would just be fucking like deathly silent. And you're like, oh God, what's going on here? And then they might like have a chat about it later, but never screamed, never fought, at least in front of me. Wild, eh? The difference.
Truly wild. Very loud. Every Friday was a new fight.
So I would say my parents have an interdependent relationship.
Okay.
Where there's definitely a division of labor, right? Like even when they have our daughter, my dad wasn't fucking changing diapers. You know what I mean? Like maybe once or twice, my dad wasn't fucking changing diapers. But like, you think my mom's ever taken out the trash or like fixed up shit around the house?
That's true. Like she loves decorating. She loves interior decorating. She loves, but so she'll buy all this stuff and she'll plan all this stuff, and then he will execute on all this stuff, as in like putting it all up. She'll research, go on Pinterest, have all the boards, and find beautiful like wallpaper trends. Buy it. Pierre puts that shit up.
Yeah. Why
can't you do that?
I feel like I've done a lot. I think I've done a lot.
But see, you want to plan though. Like, let me plan and you do it.
When is the last time I've said like, hey, I'd like to make a decor decision? When's the last fucking time that happened?
I told you I want to turn the laundry room into a washroom.
We don't have the fucking money for that yet.
I told you.
But we're moving the laundry upstairs.
I told you where I wanted it to go. You decided where it's going.
The laundry?
I told you the closet. I want the closet to look like this. I want this wardrobe system.
You're getting it.
No, but first you went and bought a whole different system, which basically replicated my side of the closet anyways. And I have the exact same problem I've always had. And then you're so proud. You're like, oh, look at this huge closet I've created. Isn't it beautiful? And I'm like, no, it is wires. I did not want wires. It is too high for me. It's like 7 feet tall.
Grow.
I am.
Fucking grow. What? Get some lifts in your shoes like the former president.
It's the same problem.
And Meatball Ron DeSanctimonious. They've all got lifts.
I don't know these people. I'm Canadian.
You don't know who Donald Trump is?
Yes, I know who he is.
Imagine not fucking knowing.
That would be so beautiful.
Oh, God.
My God.
Because then you get to discover him for the first time and hear his message about making America great again.
I don't want to talk about this.
And grabbing him.
I don't. I'm Canadian. That's not. Yeah, why can't you do that?
So we're moving the laundry upstairs. It made no sense to put it in your office.
Absolutely.
So we're going to put it in the closet, and you're going to get the fucking wardrobe system you want.
But now we have to
put it together.
Now we have to move the closet around because we can't. When we're ready to leave the house, nobody's going to buy a house that has multiple closets in one room. It's the master bedroom.
I think we'll be fine. Honestly, I think we'll be fine. People love having laundry upstairs. That's why we're doing it.
This is a very first world problem too.
The existing closet, which is our house is from the late 70s. So everything's just fucking old. Yeah. And it's like these fake wood grain fucking sliding doors that are awful. The washer dryer stackable is going to go stackable, nice, right? It's going to go in there. And then we're going to have like half closet.
See, that's what I'm getting at. I will do the planning. I will do the pinning. I will do the inspiration finding. And then
you fucking pin me, huh? You pin me down right now.
And then you will silently and kindly
pay the contractors via e-transfer. Sure.
Boom. Don't even come to me about budgeting and shit like that.
What?
Just do it. I love that. That's that 2024 energy, baby. Okay. That's what I want.
So we need to pick up a couple clients, I guess. Need a couple of fucking brands.
I told you my part of this already. I am researching. I am pinning. I am finding. I am buying.
Sure. I want it.
Execute.
I buy it.
I see it. I want it.
Speaking of which, we get into the car today and our almost 4-year-old daughter's like, Daddy, we're going to play my music and then your music. And I'm like, okay, what do you want? Because she's really into she loves her fucking favorite. My Spotify rap was just the Hercules soundtrack. Disney's 1997 masterpiece starring Danny DeVito, Hercules. And she said, play Heated by Beyonce.
Sure.
Want me to crank it?
That's her song. That was my number one song on Spotify Wrapped because of her.
Really?
Absolutely.
Damn.
The girl has taste.
10-10-10s across the board.
Yeah, okay. We're playing my music,
yeah.
she said.
Yeah, it's not even yours anymore.
Should we get into pillow talk?
Yeah, this is the part of the show where we get a little more intimate. We're gonna get into the microphones here a little bit more. We're gonna get a little fucking into your ear holes.
Ew.
Let's get in there. We'll come out a little bit, then we'll go back in.
Okay, so this week's question.
Okay, you can speak normally.
Okay, this week's question is, do you feel that we have established healthy boundaries in our relationship? If not, how can we improve in this area?
I don't know. Comment below.
Yikes.
Help me fix my failed marriage. Do I feel like we've established, I feel like especially in the last year, I feel like we have established better boundaries, healthier boundaries, because we're putting egos aside and not getting offended when the other person says, I need a little space.
Yeah.
I would like to go and do this thing on my own.
But that's never been a problem, I don't feel.
I mean, we talked about this maybe 10 minutes ago about going to Dubai, right? And how I was kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
I think a healthy boundary would have been...
We need to break up.
We need a healthy boundary for our... Fuck you, fucking break up. We need healthy boundaries for again, egos, right?
Okay.
A healthy boundary would be, hey, you can't have it both ways. I can't move. Dominique is not going to move out to the middle of fucking nowhere for my career, no questions asked. And then I can't do the same for her. We need a boundary there.
It was also it's Dubai. It's not like I'm bringing you to northern Saskatchewan or something. You know what I mean?
Like, they wanted to keep our passports.
We didn't know that until we got there, but I'm just saying, like, Dubai is like a huge destination place that everybody has on like their vision board. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's Bali, there's Dubai, there's like, it's just the place that you want to go for resorts and like to be spoiled and shit.
I was 24 years old and convinced at the time that the job I had worked for a little over a year in Dawson Creek, British Columbia, fuck that place, working at a station that played country music and also had every single fucking hour back to the Bible and to focus on the family. You grew up in the church. You're familiar. And on Sundays would play like 5 hours of church.
Yeah.
Nationally syndicated stuff. And it was an AM station, like, fuck this place. And nobody was hiring me. And I was to help me escape this fucking hellhole. And I was convinced that if we went to Dubai, I wouldn't get a job in radio and I wouldn't be able to get back into the industry.
Okay.
And
That's
more
fair.
practically, what would I do there for work?
Right.
You need a work visa to stay there. How am I going to make money? But the first part was pretty fucking foolish. I've been doing this for 10 years now. I was 24, just like ego.
But like if the tables are turned and I was telling you, no, I'm not coming with you. I need to hold on to this AM radio job out in bumfuck nowhere. I don't want to follow you to Dubai to see what can become of your career. How would you have set a healthy boundary?
I don't know. I would have been 24,
well, I'm
just
saying,
like you.
Like, yeah.
Today?
Well, yeah.
If you said, hey, I've got a job offer in another country.
If today you got an offer and I said, I'm not going.
We're not going. We can't.
Okay. So today's different because we're established in our careers. We got a house. We got a child. There's a lot of commitments. We didn't have those commitments back then. So I'm saying like, okay, it's very hard to compare to today because it's not apples to apples. But back then when there were no commitments, and I feel like we're really harping on the Dubai example, but it's just because you brought it up. I'm interested because you said breaking up with you would have been a ridiculous decision. But I'm genuinely interested. Like, what would have been a healthy boundary to set with you in that moment?
You would have been right to break up with me at that point.
I think so.
You absolutely would have been right to do that. It's hard to go back. I don't know. We weren't listening to each other.
No.
It was a very, very difficult period. If today you had a job offer, I mean, the offer would need to be able to support our family, right?
Oh yeah, because again, we have commitments.
Totally.
Now.
And not to say that I wouldn't get a full-time job in my field at some point. And also, like, it's also kind of we have an unfair advantage right now because we have this, right?
Yeah.
So it's easier than it would be if we didn't have our respective and collective social media followings, if we hadn't established relationships with brands and clients. And also 10 years ago, like, you couldn't do a lot of this stuff remotely. Today you can. So if you had a job offer or I had a job offer that, aside from all of that, if we didn't have those things, still supported us while the other person got established as well professionally in that area, 100%, let's fucking go. 100%.
Yeah. And again, that's today. That wasn't what was happening in 2014.
We'd been out of school for a year and a half.
Exactly. And it was
not
like
even.
Us going to Dawson did not do that either. It was purely for you, and going to Dubai was purely for me. And I lost my train of thought. But I guess I'm getting at today, do I think that we have healthy boundaries? Like, if I were to say, I don't want to do this anymore, I don't want to shoot a podcast,
I would break up with you. I've staked a lot on this. I don't think that would happen because, like, this is the first time we've done something of this scale.
And, like, let me preface this with, I enjoy making this. Like, I think this is good for us. This is almost like it's intentional time that we have to set aside every single week to sit down and talk about our relationship and get to know
and monetize it.
More importantly,
it's 2024, baby.
So let me make it clear that I'm not saying that because that's what I'm suggesting. But like, do I think we have healthy boundaries? Like we're also business partners, right?
Yeah.
So there's like different aspects to our relationship. Some of it romantic, some of it strictly financial, a lot of it romantic. Some of it like based in parenthood. That's not always romantic. That's not always sexy. That's largely like disagreeing on things and having to come to a happy medium that works for our child at the end of the day.
It's 3 a.m. Who's getting up?
Okay.
Who can pretend they're sleeping the longest?
Me.
I want to address your example of if you had said this podcast, for instance, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
We wouldn't get to that point because even in the last, what is this, episode 9? Even after the first couple of episodes, you said, I don't feel comfortable with a few of the things we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
I had also said there are some things that I want to keep and some things that need to work. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we compromised. Not even compromised. We found a way without contorting our values or contorting ourselves mentally, emotionally, whatever. We collaborated and found a way to get everything we wanted.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in another dozen episodes, maybe in a few hundred episodes from now, we got to tweak some stuff.
Absolutely.
Right? It's not working.
It's growth.
We want, maybe one of us says, we want a better set. Obviously, it's going to have to happen at some point, but that's not as big a priority right now as establishing this connection, establishing a format, and the storytelling. Like, that's the most important thing. I want it to look as visually appealing as possible. And it does. We've got a great fucking setup down here. Would I prefer that it wasn't in a basement? I'd love to have our own studio space somewhere.
Yeah.
But we've got like a kid sleeping. We have to do this when she's sleeping upstairs. And, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's still beautiful. You're beautiful. I'm beautiful. Like, do you know what I mean? It's great. But we don't get to these points where it's an ultimatum anymore because there's listening, because there's putting aside of ego. Maybe not in that exact moment, but we're also really good at, and I've addressed this on the podcast before, I'm the king of, I need fucking 10 or 20 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
I need 10 or 20 minutes. And I'm also really great at being, hold my hand, hold your hand. I'm also really great at saying to you, like, I got the morning. Saturday morning, like, I got her through until after her nap.
Yeah.
Take the morning, do what you got to do. Speaking of which, she's got dance tomorrow.
Yeah, and I want to do my nails tomorrow.
Could you fucking take her to dance, though?
Can you take her to dance instead?
Can you get your nails done in the afternoon?
No, because we're going to your parents' place.
Can you come when she's napping?
No.
What time is what dance is like 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
Nail spots don't even open until like 11. So
no, the mall opens at 10.
You're gonna make me do this, eh?
Don't you always? Isn't that your thing that you do with her? You take her to dance?
Motherfucker! I'm gonna delete the part of the podcast where I said I'm the king of that. Fuck! You're putting her to bed and doing her hair then.
Don't I do that every single night? Like, okay, let's be honest. Monday through Friday, Dom is picking up Nia, feeding Nia, doing Nia's hair, playing with Nia, washing Nia. In the middle of bedtime, you come home.
In the middle or beginning of bath time, I come home.
So you
40% of the time, I'm finishing bath time,
so you
brushing
handle,
her teeth.
hey, Nia,
reading,
put on, yes,
songs,
you handle reading and songs and turning off the
moisturizer.
Lights. You don't do
pajamas.
the moisturizer. Stop it. She does that. I've trained her to do
I got to
that.
clean it up though a little bit.
What do you know of moisturizer?
I'm pretty fucking moisturized. Bro, all summer, and the skin's a little dry in the winter. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a fan of it right now, but during the summer, glowing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. What do I know about moisturizer? Tell that to my fucking $60 thing of hyaluronic acid upstairs.
Absolutely. So listen. I'm just saying Monday through Friday, if that's what I'm handling, you can handle bath time on the weekends.
Yeah, 100%. But I also need some time to do some shit tomorrow.
What shit?
I got this.
What?
I do this.
We're doing this.
I got to send some fucking emails. I have to price a job for a client.
If I take her in the morning, during her nap, I am going to get my nails done.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I don't want to drive.
Drive
to Pickering. To dance.
Okay, let's make a deal here. Let's compromise. Let's make it work for everybody.
Yeah.
What are you going to give me? Because I'll take her to dance, but I need some like
I will applaud
dedicated.
you.
No, I need some dedicated time later.
I will post a story saying, "Oh my God, my man is the best. My man.
You already fucking know that. Brandon Blackwood already told me that himself. No, just kidding. His PR people, but I'm sure the thought was there.
Brandon Blackwood.
Shout out to fucking Brandon Blackwood.
Yo!
I got a meeting with them coming up soon.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's so crazy.
But I had a bunch of videos. I think it got like total like 850 or 900,000 views. Come on. Let's fucking work together.
Brandon
Let's make it happen. This podcast just turns into me threatening brands because I can take it all away. I'll make those fucking videos private tomorrow. Okay, how about this?
Yeah.
I will take her to dance. I will try to do some work in the parking lot because they don't want you inside, which is for the best, I think. These kids get distracted so easy. And then you do your thing, whatever. Mm-hmm. We leave for my parents' place we're leaving here at 3:30.
Yeah.
You got her from when she wakes up until 3:30.
Okay.
And after dinner until bath time.
What?
Yeah.
How no, that's where we're not. How does that work? Because you got her for dance. So that's an hour. That's 30 minutes. How long is dance?
It's still a drive.
So you got it for an hour.
Yeah. And breakfast, right? All that stuff.
How long is breakfast?
Breakfast is like also an hour. Getting her ready, getting her like, I got the morning.
So you got 2 hours.
That's not, no.
You've counted 2 hours.
She's
so
up
far.
at, let's say 8. We're back at like 11:30. That's 3.5 hours.
Okay. So she wakes up from her nap around
2. You got her for 90 minutes so far. 3.5 versus 90.
All right.
All right.
Overcompensating with that handshake.
Overcompensating for fucking what? Fucking secrets out, okay?
Trying to shake too hard with that handshake.
I get something you can shake. You need both hands and a couple of feet for that.
Did we answer the question? In some areas, yeah, we've built beautiful boundaries. Yeah. In some areas, we're continuing to learn,
back on our toxic shit,
continuing to call each other out.
Yeah.
Having conversations like these to get to a point where like we're somewhat, I'm getting my nails done, so I'm happy. And I don't have to drive to dance. I'm happy.
You want to show off the nails right now?
No, because like I got to get them filled. Okay. These are my Christmas/New Year's nails. Now I need my January nails.
I'm always conscious of my hair. It does this thing at the back when I have headphones on.
Yeah, but TikTok's so toxic. So they'll be like,
no, nobody's pointed it out.
Look at his hair. Oh, nobody's. They always point out something about me. Oh, her complexion or her makeup. Oh, her. There's also a filter on the video that you're seeing, y'all. Please remember that. This is 4K video, first of all. So you're seeing me better than I can see myself in a mirror. That's 1. 2, there is a filter on this video. So I'm not actually
what
this
filter?
color. When you put the LUTs on the video.
Oh, when I don't put I fucking color grade it.
Whatever.
Okay.
You do that.
Do you not like it?
No, I'm just saying people are always complaining, oh, her makeup is not the right color. She looks so yellow.
Okay.
And make me look purple. Make them shut up.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just in a bad mood.
No, you're doing great.
A tea.
Let's wrap this up with Mailbox. This is the part of the show where, and I love the voice notes. Keep the voice notes coming. Yeah. You can DM us on Instagram. We mentioned this last episode about getting there's a voicemail service you can get. Maybe that's easier. I don't know.
Well, I've been saying I'm working on a website, so hopefully by the time this is up, I actually have the website.
You can submit
It's waiting on the photos. I want new photos of us to go on this website. There you will be able to upload voice notes directly into the contact form so that we can feature your question on the episode.
So we've been doing voice notes. This is if you have advice, if you have comments, concerns, whatever. This is from Kyle.
Shout out to Kyle.
Have you ever noticed times in your relationship where there's been distance created between you guys, or the opposite, where there's been unhealthy attachments? I know in my own relationships that the unhealthy attachments and the clinginess happens pretty early in, and that's something you work on, and then distance can happen as life progresses, and maybe, add living together and buy a house and all these other life things. So have you guys ever ran into things like this? How did you deal with it? What are some examples? I'd love to hear.
Bringing it back to Dubai.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people would suffer the same fate.
Of what?
Phrasing on that is pretty grim, but being into Dawson Creek as well, middle of nowhere, being there together and not having anybody else, that becomes a little more codependent than interdependent.
Okay, so you often refer to that time as us being codependent. We were also brand newlyweds.
Yeah.
So what about that time made us codependent? What made you think that we had an unhealthy attachment to each other at that time?
Because we had to do everything together, because we didn't have any friends. We didn't have anybody outside of our relationship to like spend some time with. Now that changed a little bit as time went on. But for me, it was like I was hanging with coworkers, and that also became, I think, a codependent collective relationship. But we were also like, again, 23, 24 years old, like fucking so immature. And I think something that we could have done at the time, and if you find yourself in this situation, or if you've been in this situation, you can relate. Something we could have done was like encouraging each other to make friends, encouraging each other to step outside of our comfort zones, respective comfort zones.
Yeah.
I think something that would have been good for you was driving there would have been good.
Oh my God, I don't think that's the place to learn how to drive. That's people had very fast cars and they used them to their top speeds.
That's something
that was
we
not
could
the
have
place.
We've also like before the therapy days and this happens in every relationship, and it certainly happens in ours too, to an ever decreasing amount. But the opposite of like clinginess is I just want to like ice you out and ignore you.
Yeah.
You're a little bit better at that than I am.
Very, very good at that.
You're the queen of that. I'm the queen of I need 10 minutes. Queen?
Yeah.
King? Fucking whatever. Who gives
whatever
a shit?
You want to be.
I'm the monarchy of I keep playing footsie. That's nice. I like that. Here, you can put your foot up here instead. Put it on my chair. Can you reach? Both. Wow. Must be my birthday.
Talking. You're the king and queen of.
I'm like the king of I need 10 minutes, and you're the queen of I need fucking
Zorro.
10 hours.
And I've been saying that since high school. I'm Zorro. I will cut anybody off at any time necessary.
And it gets back to what I said earlier about trust and vulnerability.
Yes.
And we're also,
I'm working on it.
But we're taking that. It all comes back to like, my therapist would love this, the relationship your parents had. And so I always saw my parents as being on the same page and reconciling arguments whenever they had arguments, and they never fought in front of us, and we never fight in front of Nia.
Yeah.
I trust that like it'll work out. We will work it out. Whereas you come at it from a different perspective, which is
my dad constantly left. Like every week he left. Every Friday was a new fight. We would see him again Sunday night when it was time to get ready for work.
As opposed to thinking about it in a longer kind of like it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
Way that like, hey, and this is how I view things. We're arguing right now. We've also been in a relationship for 14 years. We are in our early 30s, very early 30s, like almost teens. And we have like another 50 or 60 years ahead of us. So like, yeah, we might be upset at each other now, or one of us might be upset at the other person, but that's not going to be the rest of the next 60 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we're getting divorced in 10.
That's a great, I was going to say that's a great perspective. Yeah. I agree with what you said about me very much being, you're better. So you lean in more into like the attachment. I lean in to the unhealthy distancing.
I need to be completely independent, which nobody can be fucking, nobody's an island. You can't be completely independent. But you almost want to show me that like, I could leave if I needed to, or if I wanted to. And I'm like, there's no need. Why would I leave?
Yeah.
Why would you leave?
Yeah.
There's no need for that.
Absolutely.
Step it the fuck up.
So the example that I think of you thinking of Dubai, like our time in Dubai as that unhealthy attachment, I think of you going through cancer treatment as kind of my unhealthy detachment. And this is going to sound very weird. I think even using the word detachment isn't the right word choice because...
Take your time.
Yeah. I'm hoping that people who have been in a caregiver position with a loved one can relate to this. And I'm going to try very hard not to cry, and the light right above me is not going to help with that. But
do you want to take the microphone into the laundry room? Soon to be not laundry room because we're moving it upstairs.
Apparently not. Okay. So while you were in treatment, I had to keep it pushing in terms of still going to work, taking care of our child, all the other day-to-day shit, still being there to support you, for example. And
we still had sex when I had cancer.
Yes.
Like
what? Who was questioning that?
Like a lot of it. I was kidding about the scan. It's not looking good.
Oh my God. And then we discussed this a little bit in last week's episode where I mentioned like it's not about me when these things, like when your scans are coming up, when you're going through treatment and all this stuff, it's not about it is not about me.
Still affects you.
That nobody's challenging that, right? But it's about making sure you're good, physically and mentally. And then Nia, as a baby during that time, making sure she's good.
Sure.
Making sure my job is good so that we're not losing that money. But like livelihood depended on everybody else being good and me just surviving to the next fucking day.
Put your feet back up here.
So for that, thank you. For that to be possible, I had to detach myself. I had to almost become stone cold or else I would break down. And so it was like going into work every day, and I was working with Gabby, my best friend, and her asking me like, how's Kolter doing? How are you doing? Don't ask me that because if I even get into it, I will break down.
Yeah.
And I can't promise you that I'll be able to put myself back together.
You're like, let's talk about synergy or some other fucking corporate bullshit. Let's move the needle.
Yes. So because of that, I think that almost made me, that's that unhealthy detachment that I'm referring to. Like I'm just here, but I'm not here mentally.
Sure.
Because I just need to be here physically in order to be here again tomorrow. So that's what I think of when he asks the question. Any unhealthy attachments and detachments. And yeah, you go through ebbs and flows. There are times at work, the last quarter of last year was friggin' hard. Event after event after event.
I get it.
And so.
And the last quarter, like the last quarter of the year for me. Right? Digital started really taking out, really taking off. I was taking meetings, and I'm still taking a shit ton of meetings with people and launching this, sourcing all the equipment. Like we've talked about that. Like that was a busy quarter for the two of us. Yeah.
And so like if you think of the 4 areas of your life, relationships, career, physical, spiritual, all 4 quadrants can't always be priority number 1. That's just not how life works. That's not how a person can work. So one has to outweigh the other. And different parts of your life, different times of the year, something else is going to take priority. Typically in January, that's time when you have more time with family, and more time maybe at the gym, for example. So it's more physical. Maybe around your birthday, you feel more, you want to go inward more. You get more spiritual. You start thinking about like who you want to be 10 years from now, for example. Father's Day as an example, maybe that's more of a family time. Like there's always going to be ebbs and flows. So I tend to, when I have a heavier, more difficult time, I tend to go inward. I tend to detach, and it tends to make the family part of my life the lesser priority. I think even saying lesser priority, the lesser of my attention.
I love you.
I love you so fucking much.
Yeah. You're the best. You're cool as fuck or hot as fuck.
You keep looking at this sweater like it's the greatest sweater on earth.
I want to get in there with you. Looks like there's room for 2.
I love you. And I thank God every single day.
I don't believe in God, but
that's fine. I'm telling you.
I thank myself.
Thank God.
I'm the Riz God. That's who I believe in.
Finish the sentence? That I thank God I can't swear with the same sentence. I thank God every damn day that you're still here. And I get to wake up to you every single morning.
You want to hook up? At Kolter Talks, all platforms. Like and subscribe. Give us a review. Give us fucking something. Buy some shit.
You don't want to plug the mug heavier? This precious mug.
Let me tell you how much this fucking mug is going to change your life, okay? You drink shit out of it. You could put pens into it. You could turn it into a
speaker for your phone.
Well, not anymore. The phones are too goddamn big. But if you had like a Nokia flip phone or something, which I guess are coming back or have been back. I don't watch TV, but they might be on TV. This
commercial sucks.
And we'll come up with some more merch, I guess. It's time. I also designed this, so
yeah.
Support your local creator.
Absolutely. And I am at Dom Creates on TikTok and YouTube, and I'm at Dom.creates on Instagram.
Anything you want to plug?
The mug. Get this precious, precious mug.
All right, bye.